Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the most hated celebrities of 2022 and 2023. Now, this is quite a dramatic title, and I tried to not use the word hate, but I guess there are celebrities who have, done enough to kind of make themselves quite unlikable. Like an example is Ellen. Like, I've heard quite a few negative stories about her, about how she treats staff in particular. Like, I'm not going to say anything here, but you guys, I'm sure if you just go on Google and type in, Ellen not nice to work with, you'll probably find a bunch of stories from people that used to work for her. There's many other ones. I think Will Smith's stock has taken a huge nosedive ever since he slapped Chris Rock. I'm not sure what the public think of him now. I don't know whether he's kind of back in the good graces or if he's still a bit of a pariah. I'm not too sure. But I'm quite intrigued to see who else makes this list, because there's just so many celebrities, so many actors, musicians, TV hosts, etc., that it's impossible to keep track of all of them and the stuff they get up to. So should be an interesting video. Let's do it.
In this video, we'll look at 10 of the most hated actors in 2022. Will Smith. Will Smith is one of the most famous actors in Hollywood, and movies including him have amassed nearly $10 billion across the world.
Not bad. Although I have to say, he's been in a few duds, like consecutively. That After Earth movie was not great. The Concussion movie he made, although I liked the message, the movie itself wasn't great. And then he did BRIT on Netflix, the one where he's a police officer. I didn't think that was great either.
His enormous success, Will's reputation and public image were seriously damaged by a public incident at the Oscars. Chris Rock did a comedy routine to warm up the audience, and one of the jokes was about Will's wife, Jada Smith. She suffers from alopecia, a medical condition that causes people to lose hair, and Chris made a joke calling her G.I. Jane because of it.
Yeah, I really didn't like that. Like, I thought that was really kind of distasteful from Chris Rock. I get it was a joke and all that, but if someone had a condition or a medical, like disability or something, I wouldn't make a joke out of it,
Will's reaction would stun everybody and destroy the public goodwill he had spent decades building.
Oh, wow!
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
After Chris's comments about Jada, Will responded with aggression. He walked up to the stage where Chris was standing, slapped him in the face on live television, and returned to his seat. After that, he shouted at Chris and told him not to speak about Jada anymore.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
After the slap, Will accepted an award and gave a speech apologizing for his actions.
What a mess.
Nevertheless, Will was condemned by the Screen Actors Guild and several news agencies. Even worse, the Los Angeles police offered to press charges. The only thing that kept them from doing so was Chris, who insisted on keeping things from escalating any further. People online were supportive of Chris after the slap and harshly critical of Will's reckless decision.
From what I've seen, there's kind of like two sides to this. A lot of people are like, yeah, Will Smith should never have slapped Chris. And I agree, you don't do that. And there's another side who are like, kind of on Will's side from what I've seen, that are like, Chris was really wrong to speak about Will's wife, etc., etc. And it also, because there was video of Will initially laughing at the joke, I think, and then allegedly he sees Jada's reaction and she wasn't happy, and then he kind of switched his reaction to anger. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of that one.
It's impressive how put together Chris Rock was.
Yeah, he
after
did.
The slap,
he held
one
it together.
Said.
He did.
Another criticized Will, saying Will Smith is not okay right now. Some also pointed out how it was unfair for Will to accept an award afterwards, saying, "Do you know how famous you've got to be to walk up on stage at the Oscars, slap a guy, and then carry on like nothing happened?" Will is still hated for what he did, but can he win back the hearts of the public? Let us know what you think. And
I think with enough time, yeah.
And stick around for the end, where we share the secret recording that destroyed an actor's reputation. Be sure to stick to the end to see just how much Amber Heard is hated. If you thought that Will Smith story was crazy, wait till you hear this next one. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more amazing videos. James Corden. James Corden is an actor famous for his role hosting The Late Late Show, but he's also infamous for several reasons. James allegedly has an awful personality away from the camera, and he's been banned from restaurants for treating the waitstaff with disrespect. James doesn't treat his fans much better, and
it's actually crazy. Like, no matter how rich you are, you're going to be rude to the person who's handling your food. Like, where are your common sense? Like, where's the brains? Like, you know, like, I'm not saying that, like, if the service was really bad, then obviously you can have a word with the guy, but I've heard that he's just quite rude to waitstaff.
And several people have anecdotes of the TV star being difficult and rude to others while in public places. James also has a reputation for starring in several box office bombs, such as the supremely unpopular musical movie Cats. All of this combined makes James very difficult to root for, and it's one reason he's decided to retire from hosting The Late Late Show in 2023. When asked why people disliked James, commenters had many things to say. One commenter mentioned his personality, saying, in addition to being unfunny and rude, the guy plays the victim card for being fat.
What? Does he?
The comment referred to an incident where James accused another TV show host, Bill Maher, of fat shaming.
What?
Another commenter added their own opinion.
I never heard of
He
that.
just seems pretty loud and obnoxious, in my opinion. When James tried to host an Ask Me Anything segment, one commenter asked this particularly brutal question.
I have to say, when he went over to America and got that role as the host of The Late Late Show, I was quite surprised because he was... in the UK, he was on a TV show. God, I can't even remember the name of the show, but it had a bit of a cult following. He wasn't really a big actor in any kind of way, but he was kind of like one of the cast of like a decently liked TV show. And then suddenly he was the host of The Late Late Show. So, you know, I applaud his agent. His agent, well done, man. Give that guy a big bonus.
Have you ever considered being funny or likable? With his popularity this low among the public, James might be right to retire and find a different audience for his acting. Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is an actor known for playing many roles over the years, including starring in Superbad and The Wolf of Wall Street. Unfortunately for Jonah, his acting style has led many people to dislike him over the years. One critic called Jonah a one-note actor who played the same kind of role in every movie he was in. The critic noted how Jonah has a tendency to portray bumbling idiots in the movies he plays, and this leads all of his roles to be very similar and uninteresting. I
kind of disagree with that. I saw him in that movie, the baseball movie, Moneyball with Brad Pitt, which I thought was a fantastic movie. And he didn't really play a bumbling idiot. He played like a stats guy, like a numbers guy. I'm not sure if I agree with this one about Jonah Hill.
A critic pointed out his attempts to come across as modest. Although modesty is a good thing to have most of the time, the commenter believed Jonah had taken it a little too far. I can't stand his fake modesty, the comment began. We get it, you don't want to seem arrogant, but when you're so over top about the whole I'm not very good and I wouldn't dare to think about winning an Oscar, and especially I don't really have all that much money, I swear, it just makes you sound like a bigger jerk.
Honestly, comments like that just get on my nerves. Like, you just can't please some people. Like, some people, if you're cocky, you're going to be hated. If you're, you know, the most humble guy in the world, you're going to get hate. So you just got to do you in life. You just forget about pleasing everybody. Like, what's the guy supposed to do?
Bigger jerk. Another critic mentioned Jonah's bad acting, saying there's a reason he needed to have the glasses and fake teeth in The Wolf of Wall Street. His acting isn't very convincing, and they had to spice him up a little. He can't act. He thinks he's all that, but he isn't convincing anybody. Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer is an actor.
Yeah, I've heard she steals a lot of material, like allegedly. I don't know for sure, but I've heard that she steals a lot of jokes.
Actor known for her comedy routines. She's starred in numerous comedy shows, including hosting her very own Netflix special. For somebody with so many comedy gigs, you might assume her jokes are loved by the public. However, many people don't think Amy Schumer is funny at all. In fact, they dislike her humor so much that she's become one of the most hated actors of all time. One commenter brought up their experience at one of Amy's comedy shows, saying, "I saw her back in 2013 at a comedy theater in Illinois, and I was ready to leave after about 5 minutes.
Oof.
Her jokes consisted of racial observations and stereotyping. She even asked the audience to point out black members of the audience. And as a black woman,
Why?
I've never felt more uncomfortable in a public place."
Yeah, that's just really weird. Like, I love going to comedy shows, I really do. These days I've been going like every week, and if a comedian asked the members to point out black people, like as part of some kind of joke, I'd feel uncomfortable. I would.
People are more than just their skin color, though you wouldn't have realized that from watching her routine. "I don't hate Amy, but I wish she'd just go away." Another commenter mentioned Amy's bad reputation for stealing jokes, saying Amy's been known to steal lots of
Yeah,
jokes.
I've heard this.
Several comedians have called her out on this. Another commenter added on by saying about 40% of Amy's jokes are obviously stolen, and the other 60% are hard to even call jokes because they're all her talking about genitalia or complaining about men. Gwyneth Paltrow.
I will say, I've seen her at some roasts, some comedy roasts, and she can be quite funny. She can. So, whether a lot of the stuff that was said is true, like the joke stealing and the kind of weird jokes, I will say she can be quite funny.
Gwyneth Paltrow has starred in several popular movies such as Emma, Sliding Doors, and Shakespeare in Love. Her role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe added serious chops to Gwyneth's acting experience, but many people had some concerns with the actor. Although she was financially successful, many online critics were skeptical of the way Gwyneth gained much of that success. They noted her side business, and there were some troubling things about it. Online critics noticed that one of Gwyneth's most successful companies, an online store called Goop, was engaged in dishonest and borderline pseudoscientific marketing. One commenter said people dislike Goop for many reasons, but the most valid is their claims. They release products with numerous untrue promises, and in some cases, the products turned out to be actively harmful.
Wow.
It's extremely irresponsible to put medical claims out without any factual basis.
You would think that someone like Gwyneth Paltrow, who's probably got a team of agents and PR people and managers, you would not want her brand, her A-list brand associated with a company like that. Seems like a huge oversight from her reps.
Another commenter piled on by saying they literally sold a product called Vampire Repellent, unironically.
What?
Not to mention, there was also a pack of stickers that supposedly could realign your chakras with NASA technology. NASA actually had to make a public statement saying they don't endorse and never had such technology. And
Realign your chakra.
Goop simply relabeled the stickers and continued to sell them.
Wow.
A final commenter summed up things by saying, Gwyneth is the embodiment of the super rich white woman that's so out of touch with reality, she believes the key to good health is chakra balancing stickers. Basically, she's full of it. Kevin Spacey.
That was a bit harsh, but I guess everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Spacey used to be an icon in the acting world, with key roles in hit movies such as 21 and American Beauty. Kevin's already high profile was shot into the stratosphere by his starring role in the Netflix series House of Cards.
Great show. And The Usual Suspects as well. Great movie. Honestly, this guy, he was on top of the world. Like, he was one of my favorite actors for a year or two, and then boom, nosedive.
But things would soon fall apart for the actor. Allegations of indecent actions with a minor would result in Kevin being fired from his acting gigs, as well as facing criminal charges in trial. Although Kevin managed to avoid jail time in the end, his reputation is severely damaged by everything that happened.
It's over.
Despite that, he's continued to pursue an acting career,
Has he?
albeit with a much lower profile than before. Online commentators are generally opposed to Kevin for his actions, but they remain curious about what the actor will do next. His habit of releasing cryptic YouTube videos caught the attention of many internet regulars, and some wonder if he will make another appearance in the future. One commenter had this to say about Kevin's mysterious videos. Kevin's videos are probably just a futile effort to stay relevant by releasing a video on the anniversary of his last notable acting gig. Some people thought it would be the start of his comeback, but nothing ended up coming from it. Another commenter noticed a strange coincidence. In case anyone forgot, Kevin's criminal charges were dropped in the groping case because the accuser died a few months ago.
Oh, really?
Another commenter admired Kevin's recent video upload, saying, "The sheer audacity. Absolutely based. I don't care what you think."
Based. Based. What does that mean? Absolutely based. Never heard that phrase before.
Of him, but the fact that he has the nerve to do this is nothing less than brazen. That recent upload had Kevin telling viewers to kill their enemies with kindness, which was strange since it came shortly after one of Kevin's accusers died in a car crash. While Kevin remains unpopular on the balance, many can't help but wonder what he will talk about next.
Is he Ellen DeGeneres? Not surprised. So he's avoided prison time, but was he innocent? Because if he was innocent, you got to feel bad for the guy, because he was probably approaching A-list, maybe not, I don't know, but he was really up there. And just as an actor, he was so good. And then to have all that taken from you, especially if you're innocent, it's just, I would feel so hard done by. I'd be bitter. I'd try my best to not be, but most people would be really bitter about it. But obviously, if he actually did what they accused him of, then F him.
Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres is known for hosting The Ellen DeGeneres Show, as well as starring in numerous sitcoms during the 1990s and 2000s. On top of her TV roles, Ellen also acted in several hit movies like Finding Nemo and The Love Letter.
Yeah, she was Dory, wasn't she, I think?
Her position as a role model for LGBT people around the world made her uniquely popular, and it seemed like Ellen would be a Hollywood fixture. However, not everyone is such a huge fan of Ellen. She has some serious critics, and they believe Ellen isn't being honest about who she really is. On March 20th, Kevin Porter made a Twitter post asking people to reply with crazy Ellen DeGeneres stories. While he was normally a comedian...
Hold on, what did he write in the tweet? So he said, "Right now we all need a little kindness, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. She's also notoriously one of the... Okay, respond to this with the most insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean, and I'll match everyone with $2 to LA Food Bank."
Stories. While he was normally a comedian, this was no joke. Several replies brought up nightmare stories, like one commentator who alleged that Ellen pushed a waiter's hand into a bowl of hot soup.
Oh my God.
This wasn't the only story of Ellen treating workers poorly, and many former employees of the actor claimed she didn't treat them with respect. On April 16th, these former employees formalized their concerns in an article in Variety. The Ellen DeGeneres show's crew mentioned they believe communication was poor due to Ellen's treatment of employees, as well as her efforts to replace unionizing workers with new employees.
Wow.
Ellen's poor treatment of workers caused some to turn against her, but it was also her elitist behavior that really made many people upset. One commenter said, "I heard a piece on NPR the other day about how Ellen said quarantine was like being in prison, while she was relaxing in one of her several mansions. Talk about tone deaf." A different commentator brought up a highly controversial segment with Mariah Carey here. On top of everything else, Ellen had Mariah Carey on her show and tried to make her admit to being pregnant. She did this by bringing out champagne and toasting to not being pregnant.
And obviously, someone who's pregnant probably will not want to drink alcohol.
Mariah was pregnant and didn't drink the champagne, which Ellen used as proof. In the end, Mariah suffered a miscarriage, which certainly didn't make things any better for Mariah. Ellen should have left it be, but she had to get those TV ratings.
Yeah, that's scummy. That is scummy.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise hit it big with his role in the Top Gun series, and since then he's starred in dozens of high-profile movies. On top of his performance in A Few Good Men and Mission Impossible, Tom has led an extremely profitable and fulfilling acting career.
I do like Tom Cruise's movies. He consistently makes good movies, for sure, but I do find him a little bit strange.
However, his private life is full of surprises and controversies. He is a member of the Church of Scientology. On top of that, Tom has made statements against antidepressants and psychiatric therapy. While the public might still love his movies, most people have turned on Tom in response to these concerns.
Have they?
One commenter mentioned their concern with Tom's religious affiliation. The main reason for the hate against Tom is Scientology, for one. I never had a problem with the guy. I think he's great, and basically every movie I've seen with him in it is quite good.
Yeah.
Another commenter added on by praising his acting chops. Apart from his strange, personal life, the general consensus is that Tom always puts 100% into every movie he's a part of.
He does. He really does. And I will say that his acting abilities are probably quite underrated. I remember as like how old was I? Maybe 14 or something, watching The Last Samurai. And that's probably, for me, his best acting performance ever in his career. I can't think of anything else he's done that I've seen that was better than that. Really good movie.
Which makes those movies better. Some commenters brought up Tom's other controversies, though. Tom went way out there for a bit, jumping on furniture, arguing about psychiatry with bad information.
What was that about when he was jumping up and down on a sofa? I'm in love with Katie Holmes. I'm in love with Katie Holmes. It was so
weird. And making what were basically Scientology tribute movies. He's toned it down lately, but for a lot of people, he'll forever be the face of Scientology. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler is known for starring in several iconic movies, such as Grown Ups and Uncut Gems. Adam's well known for generally playing comedic roles, though he can take on different acting spots when needed. While he has all the trappings of a great actor, Adam has some serious flaws that cause a lot of people to hate him. Adam is known for making low-budget and low-quality movies to turn a quick buck, as well as utilizing cheap and immature humor. Some people like Adam's movies, but many more are frustrated with the way he floods the film industry with bad jokes and low-quality content. One commenter had this to say about Adam's movies. The humor they use is simple and low-brow, so it can reach the biggest audience. That is why so many people like it, because no matter how old you are, a fart joke or a stereotype can still be funny. I can't be too mad because the guy is having a good time with his friends and they're making money hand over fist. Still, I can hate him for being a racist, homophobic, and ableist douche.
What? Racist and homophobic? How? What did he do? What did he say?
Another commenter added their own thoughts. He's a garbage actor and not really funny at all. Some of his stuff, like Happy Gilmore and Waterboy, was all right for the time, but even then, it wasn't amazing. Amber Heard.
I don't know. I don't think anybody goes to an Adam Sandler movie expecting to see an Oscar-worthy performance. I think some of the allegations thrown at him there also, where's the evidence? If he did do it, just leave some links in the comments or just write it out, because sometimes if you put links in the comments, YouTube just automatically deletes it because they think it's like spam or something. So yeah, just, briefly let me know what he did, because I think he's okay. I remember the movie Click that he did, I think around 2005, where he could skip forward in time. It was actually really, really good.
Everyone is sick of Amber Heard, and it all started with a famous trial in 2022. Amber had been in a long-term relationship with Johnny Depp, another famous actor who starred in Pirates of the Caribbean and other hit movies. The two were married in February of 2015, but their marriage would be shockingly brief. Just over a year later, in May of 2016, Amber divorced Johnny. She did more than just that, though. She added some bombshell allegations to the mix. Amber claimed that Johnny had been abusive during their relationship, and that he manipulated her in a variety of ways. Johnny denied all of the claims and accused Amber of making things up to get a better divorce settlement. Despite Johnny's vigorous defense, he lost a lot of popularity and had several movie roles taken away from him.
He did.
Amber gained $7 million in the divorce settlement, along with the former couple's 2 cars, 2 dogs, and even their pet horse. During all of this, Amber retained the support of the public. But
until when that trial started, the pendulum swung the other way. It swung the other way big time.
That would change as new revelations came out. In February of 2019, Johnny sued Amber over a recent publication that he claimed was libel. The Washington Post had issued an op-ed with contributions from Amber, and it had claimed that Johnny had been abusive. Johnny rejected the claims in the article and asserted that Amber had abused him during their tumultuous relationship. Amber countersued not long after, and the two of them were soon grappled in a bitter legal dispute. During these new trials, more details from their relationship came to light that caused the public to question Amber's credibility. During the trial, evidence came out that put serious doubt on the credibility and honesty of Amber's claims to be a victim.
Like, releasing that op-ed was probably the biggest mistake of her life. You know, she'd already won all of the lawsuits prior. She'd got the $7 million settlement, the houses, the cars, blah, blah, blah. And now I think she's had to leave America. I think she lives in Spain now. And I don't think Hollywood's going to touch her for a long time. A long, long time.
For one, several witnesses claimed that their relationship involved abuse on both sides. While Amber alleged that Johnny had attacked her, many could recall incidents where they claimed she had attacked Johnny. The prosecution even brought up an incident where Amber got into an argument so heated that she defecated in their bedroom.
Disgusting.
And another where she threatened Johnny until he hid in the bathroom. The biggest bombshell, however, was a secret recording that blew the lid off the entire case. In it, Amber admitted that she hit Johnny in the face and then lied about it to other people. During the audio, Amber told Johnny that nobody would believe him if he tried to tell other people what had happened. Unfortunately for Amber, the entire interaction was recorded.
I remember, I reacted to a couple of the videos. It was all over the internet. It was all over YouTube. Everyone was talking about it. It was such a weird time, honestly. I think it was like a year ago, maybe even more. Like, it was such a weird time.
And during the trial, it was shown to the whole world. When the recordings were revealed to the public, everyone turned against Amber for her deception and violent actions. Things got even worse when people online found out that Amber had lied about donating to several charities, including a false claim that she would donate the money from her divorce settlement. Commenters didn't hold back against Amber, with one saying, "She is a disgusting woman. I hope she doesn't ever get to work in the entertainment business again. To lie about giving her divorce settlement to a charity is despicable. Her pledge didn't mean a thing." Another added on by saying the whole thing was nonsense. Amber wasn't vilified for being a victim. She was vilified for being a pathological liar who actually set women back. A couple of commenters were sympathetic to Amber, with one saying, "I wish Amber the best. Nobody should have to go through a trial 3 times.
The poor thing. What? How do you feel sorry for her?
The poor thing. I hope Depp's conscience eats away at him, but I'm not even sure he has one."
What?
Although there were a few Amber supporters like
She
this, they
abused
were
him.
buried under a mountain of dislikes. In the end, Amber lost the trial against Johnny Depp. The jury gave a verdict awarding around $10 million in damages to Johnny Depp, while Amber only received $2 million. This meant that Amber was now $8 million in debt, and she would have to raise the rest of the money from somewhere else. Amber appealed the verdict and managed to settle for a $1 million payout to Johnny without receiving any money from him. Amber walked away from the ordeal $1 million poorer.
I mean, from 7 million, or 8 million it was, down to 1. I mean, well done on getting that deal. I don't think I would have been as generous, because she tarnished his reputation big time. Yeah, he's got a lot of the roles back, I think, and especially the perfume role. I think that was really sort of lucrative for him. But for those years, he lost everything, his income.
Having lost in the court of law and the court of public opinion. Click here to see celebs you didn't know died.
Very interesting. They say time is the great healer, but I wonder if the celebrities on this list, some of them in particular, will they ever get to the heights that they reached, before the controversies? I think Ellen, I don't think she will, because she had a very long run. I think she had the Ellen show for 15 or so years, and I think is it been cancelled? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. I guess maybe after a 5-10 year hiatus, potentially she could return. Maybe. I think Will Smith will probably return. Who else? I think Gwyneth Paltrow is probably done. Like, who else? But other than that, I think the other people on the list, like Adam Sandler, I thought his inclusion on this list was quite weird, to be honest. Like, because I'd never heard any of those allegations. You know, I guess his movies are quite simple, I suppose. Although I've heard really good things about Uncut Gems. I need to watch that. But yeah, I guess the majority of his movies are quite simple comedies, but there's no harm in making simple comedies. Not everybody has to be a Daniel Day-Lewis type of actor. But yeah, like, let me know if you agree or disagree with some of the entries on the list and who they are in particular. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.